Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, the former late President Daniel Toroitich arap Moi had promised Kenyans that Kanu is going to rule this country for a period of 100 years. When Moi said that, it looked like simple. It looked like something that will not happen. I'm saying this because the man who was saying this, he was an unpopular president in this country. Yes, there are good things he managed to do in this country, but there was also his shortcomings. There is also the bad side of Moi, which made Moi to look unpopular. So even the statement they were saying, it was unpopular, and the man who was saying the statement, he was an unpopular leader. But seemingly, if what we witnessed yesterday is something to go by, then we can conclude and say that what Moi said surely might come to just be fulfilled as times goes on. In fact, I want us to check on how the progress of Kanu has continuously happened to have a chance in this country, and also try to compare the new president in the office to the former President Moi and what he predicted. Because seemingly what we have now is like a clone of Moi. It's like just Moi is back in the office. And when we are talking about Kanu, some people will say, oh, Kanu has not been in power. Gideon Moi has Kanu. Kanu is not popular and it does not have people. But actually, talking about Kanu, we are talking about people who have been raised by Moi, those who have been there in Kanu, but because things could not work for them, they had just to look for a way to get to power. And to vindicate Moi, for those who remember, the first president, Jomo Kenyatta, the first, he was in power for 15 years. After that, Moi took over power. Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. He was the leader of this country for about 24 years. After that, of course, Moi was ruling under Kanu. Then Kibaki came to power. The people will say that Kibaki was part of the team that was agitating for change. But what you need to remember is that Kibaki was a vice president to Daniel Toroitich arap Moi for a good 10 years. So if Kibaki could have retired as a deputy, as a vice president, he will be getting his retirement money as a man who served Moi. So when he was the vice president for Moi, he was in Kanu. That means he was shaped into leadership by Moi himself. After Mwai Kibaki, we had another regime which came to power. That is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And this explained how the return of the real color of the real behavior of Kanu in change of government using different parties have happened. Because if Kibaki was not pro-Kanu, there was no way he was going to hand over power to the Kanu party leader or chairman of Kanu. Because Moi gave Kanu party to Uhuru Kenyatta. He did not make it to get to power. But after that, when Uhuru lost, he decided to join the government side and he supported Kibaki. That's how he was made deputy prime minister. So you see, when Kanu itself, it knew that this is part of their government. After that, Uhuru became the president. After trying with Kanu, then Kanu failed. He came with something he referred to as TNA with a dam, which seemingly looked like Ile Jogoya Moi. And Uhuru has been here for 10 years. After this, we have seen William Samoei Ruto, who has been given another mandate of 5 years to serve this country. Take 15 for Kenyatta, 25 for Moi, 10 for Kibaki, 10 for Uhuru, and now 5 for William Samoei Ruto. It is almost counting up to 70 years. And seemingly, Ruto might go for 10. That will amount to 75 years. Just less 25 to close 100 years. So, My main aim in this video is to explain to you some of the characters of the late President Daniel Arap Moi, which seemingly can be witnessed in William Samoei Ruto. But before we go deep into that, I just have a quick request. You might be watching this channel, but you're not yet subscribed. So my humble request, please consider subscribing so that another time, once we release a video like this one, you will always get notified. Again, to all our returning subscribers and anyone who drop comment, I must say thank you so much for unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give our video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend our videos to more viewers. Back to our discussion. Now, if you talk about Kanu, people thought that, okay, after Moi, it should be Uhuru Kenyatta, then Gideon Moi. 2022 election has brought William Samoei Ruto, now the 5th president, to the limelight. And seemingly, there is a feeling in this country like there is return of Moi into power. In fact, Gideon Moi is the biological son to the late President Daniel Arap Moi. But again, what you need to understand is that William Samoei Ruto is a political son to President Moi. Gideon Moi, biological. William Ruto, political. I'm saying this because even if you try to check on how Moi used to do his politics, Gideon Moi is doing something totally separate from what his father was doing. But seemingly, if you look on how William Samoei Ruto has been, he managed to conduct himself during campaign and any other area in time when he was in power as deputy president, you could easily trace the character, behavior, and everything that Moi was doing when he was in power. So William Ruto is more of Moi than Gideon Moi, a son to, biological son to, and then to Arap Moi. So when I talk about William Ruto showing the character of Moi, we are talking about Moi who was giving people handouts when he was in power. Everyone knows this. Of course, William Ruto became popular because he is smart on talking, and secondly, seemingly, he has created a perception of a man who is generous. That character, because of his handout. Character that he bought from Moi. A man who believed in Harambe, Michango. Moi was the center of Harambe in this country. A man who conducted Harambe, a man who led Harambes in this country. And that's how we remember Moi. But seemingly, that character can always be portrayed in William Samoei Ruto. Ruto has been a man who has been conducting Harambes in this country. Remember, even when the law says that when you need to do Harambe, there's a process for that. Ruto has been against that. Of course, something Raila was also against. He did not want Harambes, but Ruto was for Harambes. That is a character I got from Moi. And through Harambes, you can show how generous you are, and then a man of people, just like that. Just doing populist politics. A character I got from Moi. Number 3, a man of the Bible. Moi never missed a church. Every Sunday was in the church. A man who did not drink. And that character can also be seen in William Samoei Ruto. But one funny thing about this man of the Bible is that you can also see a face of brutality in them. Even Moi, there are people who feared talking about Moi when he was in power because Moi was kind of a brutal leader in as much as he was the man of the Bible. There is also fear of William Ruto even in his leadership as a man who seemingly might be brutal. That's why I'm saying there is the feeling of return of Moi into the Statehouse. You talk about when people were agitating for change, the improvement of democracy in this country. Moi was against that because he wanted to be all-powerful president. Look on how when people were calling for referendum in this country to change our constitution, improve on our democracy, Who were people for the yes and those who were for the no? William Ruto opposed even the new constitution, which he swore in yesterday to protect, because it was bringing improvement to our democracy. He did not want change. He wanted to be all-powerful person, a character that was in Moi. And when you talk about Moi being a man who persecuted so many people who did not agree with him, most of his opponents were persecuted. They were arrested, jailed without trial. I mean, you're talking about Railaodinga being a victim, Koigi Wamwere, the immediate former governor of Meru, Anaitwa nani? Kiraitu Murungi was among these people. To an extent, even Murungi was asking Kibaki to allow them to prosecute Moi when he retired and jail him because of what they faced through at the prison without trial. There is also fear in William Ruto as a man who can revenge on his opponent. You deal decisively with your opponent, mercilessly, to silence them. That's why I'm telling you, there is kind of, because look at now, Matiang'i is the outgoing CS, but as we're speaking now, I think most of all of his media accounts, they may freeze. I may freeze now. They are nowhere. You cannot find them again. A man who has a following to a tune of 1.5 million accounts as a Patikani size, and many other people. Fear. A man who wanted to create fear among people so that he will be all powerful. Moi. So we will wait and see if William Samoei Ruto is going to disapprove most Kenyans who see him as a man who has the character of Moi every time he comes. So he can disapprove Kenyans through his leadership. Then we can say, we were wrong. Ruto has no characters, the bad characters from Moi. If there is something good, then he took the good side. We will see and we'll come back to tell you here. But as of now, I tell you, in my own thinking, I'm convinced that there is a return of Moi at Statehouse. See you in our next video.